The gym is already loud before the doors fully open. Iron clinks. Fans push warm air in circles. Chalk hangs in the light like dust. Arnold steps in and wipes his palms on a towel. Habit. Automatic. A small crowd is forming near the deadlift platform. Not a show yet. Just bodies drifting closer. A man at the counter says a name under his breath. Andre. Like a warning that doesn't need volume. Andre the giant ducks under the doorway. Shoulders first. Then the rest of him. A tank top stretched tight. Big hands hanging loose. Relaxed. He smiles at no one in particular. The room makes space without being told. Arnold doesn't move toward him. He doesn't step away either. Feet set shoulder width. Weight even. Eyes level. He watches Andre the way he watches a loaded bar. Not impressed. Not challenged. Just reading. Someone laughs too early. A permission laugh. A thin sound meant to start something. Andre turns his head toward it and the laugh dies. The room resets itself around his size. Arnold reaches for a barbell on the floor. Plain steel. No shine. He rolls it with his foot until it sits straight on the platform. The knurling looks worn smooth. He tests the spin once with 2 fingers. Then lets go. A lifter slides a pair of thick plates closer. Dense. Old iron. No brand. Arnold doesn't ask for help. He loads one side, then the other. Slow. Exact. Collars tightened until metal stops talking. Andre watches with a faint smirk. Not cruel. Confident. A man behind him whispers, "That's not for him." Another answers, quieter, "He'll do it anyway." The crowd leans in without realizing. Arnold looks up and meets Andre's eyes. No smile. No challenge face. Just a calm line. "Lift the bar," he says. Not loud. Not playful. A simple instruction. A hush tries to form. Fails. Someone snorts. Someone coughs. The counterman taps a coin on the wood once. A tiny sound. A signal that this is now public. Andre steps onto the platform. One heavy step. Then another. The boards complain under him. He looks down at the bar like it's a toy someone misplaced. He bends at the hips. Not rushed. Hands reach. His fingers close around the bar. Too fast. Too casual. No chalk. No set. He pulls. Nothing. The bar doesn't break the floor. Andre's smile holds for a second too long. His elbows bend a fraction, then lock. He pulls again, harder. The plates click, but the bar stays. 5 seconds. Long in silence. Short in humiliation. The room stops breathing the way it was breathing before. A man in the back lowers his arms mid-curl and forgets to finish. Andre pauses with the bar still on the floor. He doesn't look up yet. He adjusts his grip a half-inch wider. Pulls again. The bar lifts a hair, then settles back with a dull thud. The platform feels smaller. Arnold remains still beside the platform. Hands open at his sides. Breath in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Measured. He doesn't explain. He lets the bar explain. Andre finally looks up. Not angry. Confused. Like an object betrayed the rules. The crowd stays quiet because they don't know which side is safe. A man near the mirrors starts to laugh, then stops. The laugh can't find permission. Andre's eyes flick toward him and the room goes blank again. Andre resets. This time he chalks. White dust blooms over his knuckles. He wedges his feet under the bar. He breathes once, deeper. Then pulls with his legs, not his arms. The bar rises an inch. 2. Then stalls. His wrists bend slightly. The knurling bites, but it doesn't hold. His grip slips a fraction, then catches. Friction. Real. He tries to finish the lift. Hips drive. Back tight. But the bar hangs in the dead space where leverage dies. He holds it there for a second too long, then lowers it. Controlled. Not defeated. But not successful. The crowd doesn't cheer. They don't mock. They do something worse. They stay silent. Silence is an audit. Arnold steps forward. Not fast. Not slow. Exact pace. He kneels and rolls the bar a quarter turn with one hand, just enough to show the thick sleeves. A non-standard grip, wider diameter than it looks from a distance. He stands and dusts chalk onto his palms. He rubs it in like he's cleaning, not preparing. He takes his position, shins close, hips set, back flat, eyes level on a point ahead. He hooks his fingers differently, thumb over, then fingers locking down. Not strength, mechanics. He inhales, holds, then pulls. The bar breaks the floor cleanly. No jerk, no stall. It slides up his shins like it belongs there. The plates clear. The crowd's faces change at different speeds. Arnold stands tall with the bar at lockout. 1 second. 2. He doesn't celebrate. He lowers it under control. Metal meets wood with a heavy calm. The silence deepens. Andre stares at the bar, then at Arnold's hands, then at the thick grip again. He flexes his fingers once, like checking if they're still his. Arnold wipes his palms with the towel, no speech. He checks the collars. Tight, still centered. He leaves the bar where it is. He doesn't offer it back. A man near the counter finally exhales. It sounds loud. Andre shifts his weight and gives a short laugh, quiet and surprised. Not mocking. A release he didn't expect to need. Someone whispers, "What bar is that?" Another answers, "Doesn't matter." Because it does matter. The room just learned that the test defines the outcome. Andre steps closer to Arnold. Not crowding. Different now. He nods once, small. A respect cue delivered through posture, not words. He looks at the thick sleeves again. Arnold lifts the towel to his neck, wipes sweat. His hands tremble lightly after the lift. After, never during. He hides the tremor by folding the towel edge square. The counterman tries to reclaim the room with noise. He taps the coin again. Too late. The sound doesn't move anyone. Authority without attention is just a habit. Andre reaches for the bar again. Not to prove, to understand. He grips it, tests the diameter with his palm. He shakes his head once, like the steel told him a secret. Arnold says nothing. He doesn't explain the bar. He doesn't explain the grip. He lets Andre do the math in his own hands. That's cleaner than words. A few lifters drift back to their stations. Still glancing. Still recalibrating. The gym noise returns in pieces. Clink. Whir. Breath. But the earlier laughter doesn't come back. Andre steps off the platform. He looks larger leaving than entering. Not because he grew. Because the room shrank around what just happened. He pats Arnold's shoulder once, light for him, heavy for anyone else. Arnold doesn't react to the pat. No smile, no nod. He adjusts the strap on his bag. Automatic. The same motion he made at the door. A loop. Later, people will call it a trick bar. They will miss the point. It wasn't deception. It was selection. A test designed to reveal control, not just force. Strength is not one thing. It is grip. It is breath. It is timing. It is knowing what the room expects and refusing to pay that price. Andre could lift more weight than most men will touch. But the thick handle stole leverage from size. It demanded mechanics. And mechanics can be practiced in silence. Arnold walks to the mirror wall and checks his hand chalk. Not vanity, feedback. He rubs the chalk off slowly, then reapplies a thin layer. Sequence. Repeatable. A younger lifter approaches, careful. Where do you get that bar? Arnold looks at him, then at the platform. He doesn't answer. He just points once. Not to the bar. To the chalk bucket. The lifter nods like he understood something else. He backs away. The lesson travels without a speech. The room returns to training, but a new rule sits under it. Andre stays near the platform a moment longer. He rubs chalk off his palms and it smears gray. He looks at his own fingers like they changed shape. The crowd watches him watch himself. A man from the back row of benches steps forward with a belt in his hands. He offers it to Andre, like a peace gift. Andre doesn't take it. He shakes his head once. No equipment. No excuses. Just the bar and the hands. Arnold bends and recenters the collars again. A quarter turn each. Click, click. The sound is neat, controlled. The counterman hears it and flinches, as if order itself is disrespect. Andre finally speaks louder, but still not loud. Again, not a demand. A request for clean data. He sets his feet, grips, and pulls. The bar rises the same inch and stalls the same way. Repeatable. That's what makes the room go quiet. Andre releases and laughs once, short. He points at the thick sleeve with 2 fingers. Then at Arnold's hands. A simple admission without surrender. The crowd absorbs it like a rule being rewritten. A camera flash pops from the doorway. Not a press camera. A tourist. The flash freezes faces in mid-thought. The counterman stiffens. Because proof changes what a room can deny. Andre turns his head toward the flash. The tourist lowers the camera fast. No apology, just retreat. Andre doesn't chase the attention. He returns to the bar and touches the sleeve again. Like the steel is the only honest witness. Arnold moves to the water fountain. He drinks without looking up. Throat working, breath steady. He sets the cup down exactly where it was. Small order in a room that wants chaos. A man at the bench whispers to another, louder than he thinks. Did he just outgrip him? The other man answers, he just outplanned him. They both go quiet when Andre's shadow passes. The counterman steps closer to the platform. He clears his throat. A soft attempt at reclaiming authority. He says, all lifts are at your own risk. A rule spoken after the fact. A way to put his name back on the moment. No one responds. Rules need agreement to work. The crowd is still reading what happened. Andre looks at the counterman once. Not hostile, just blank. The counterman looks away first. Arnold relaces his wrist wraps. Not necessary, but precise. Wrap, pull, tuck. The ritual tells his hands what to do next time. The next time always comes. A younger lifter tries the thick bar when Andre steps aside. He can't break it off the floor. His face reddens. He laughs to hide it. The laugh fails. The room has learned that laughter can be a lie. Andre watches the kid for 2 seconds, then shows him one small adjustment. Thumb placement, finger lock, no speech, just a repositioning. The bar still doesn't move, but the kid understands why. Andre steps back from the platform. His hands open and close once, slow. He looks at Arnold again. This time he speaks, low. Different bar, not an excuse. A fact, a respect for variables. Arnold nods once, nothing more. Agreement without friendliness. The room feels that nod like a stamp. 2 giants acknowledged a detail everyone else missed. 30 minutes and 30 seconds. That's what turns a crowd silent. Not mystery, clarity, the sudden realization that strength has components. And that someone has been training the component you ignored. Later, men will try to recreate the moment. They will load heavier plates. They will bring louder friends. They will demand rematches. They will miss the quiet part, the setup. The setup is what Arnold owns. He owns the bar path, the breath timing, the hand position, the refusal to perform for permission. He turns a public room into a controlled environment by inches. Andre leaves without ceremony. The doorway looks smaller when he exits. The gym exhales like it's been holding air for him. Only when he's gone do people start talking again. Not louder, more careful. Arnold shoulders his bag. The strap creaks once. He adjusts it and the creak stops. He doesn't look back at the platform. He already took what he came for. Outside, the sun hits the sidewalk hard. He checks his keys without looking. Thumb over metal. Habit. Automatic. He sits in his car before starting the engine. One hand on the wheel, the other on the towel folded square. He feels the aftershake in his fingers and lets it pass. After, never during. He tightens the bag strap once, then loosens it a millimeter. Testing tension the way he tests steel. Tomorrow the gym will be loud again. Different faces, same iron. Another crowd forming around another test. But the memory will stay in the silence between reps. In the gym, humiliation was organized. A crowd, a name, a giant, a bar that refused to move. Out here, it becomes a quiet note in his routine. A reminder that control is built where nobody applauds. The next time a room tries to measure him, it won't use the same ruler. They'll change the bar, change the rules, change the laughter. So he learns to read objects first. Handles, collars, signs, hands that tap a bell. Because the test is never neutral. And the man who chooses the test chooses the outcome. He writes it down, then trains. He turns the key, engine catches. No music, just road noise, plain sound. Plain sound doesn't argue with discipline, because the moment wasn't Andre failing. It was the room realizing what matters can be changed, in 5 seconds, by a man who doesn't need to raise his voice.